Evangelical churches were planted in Romania first in 1854. There were German missionaries that came to Romania, and the first Baptist church was opened in Bucharest in the 19th century. The churches grew after the First World War, and then there was a big revival and a lot of new church plants happening after the fall of communism. So after 1990s, the number of churches grew. We have around 1,600 Baptist churches right now in Romania with around 100,000 believers. Our purpose is to see these evangelical Romanian churches, Baptist churches, becoming missional churches. We believe God is calling us Romanians to be part of the harvest, to contribute to taking the gospel to those who have never heard, to be part of this new missionary movement. And I think we've been strategically placed by God in Eastern Europe to be His voice for our generation and to be salt and light for the Balkans and for countries in Central Asia, Turkey, Northern Africa, this part of the world where we have a lot of cultural similarities with the other nations around us, and where we as Romanians, we have a good identity and a good position to be able to share the gospel with all these nations around us. But I think one of the main needs of the churches in Romania is to be mobilized to mission. The churches are many times focused on reaching just their own community or maybe just maintaining what they have. But I think God is calling us to discover what it means to be a missional church and to train and equip and mobilize this generation to learn to live their life on mission with God where they are. I think one of the big needs for the Romanian church is good biblical mission education and mobilization. We don't have a history of mission in Romania. In a way, it's a new development. And I think there is still a big number of believers who don't realize, why do we need to think about missions? Why do we need to care about other nations? Why do we have a spiritual obligation to other ethnic groups than our own? So I think Storyline can help with mobilizing and bringing some basic education and motivation about mission, helping the church understand why we should be involved with God in mission in the world today, and why actually every local church is called to be a missional church, and why every believer is actually called by God to be part of His mission by giving, sending, praying, welcoming, mobilizing. And just to discover this amazing adventure we're all called to live with God. Yeah, so in Romania we have 13 different regions and where we have Baptist communities. And what we want to do is train mobilizers in all these different regions of Romania. And I think Storyline can be a great tool to equip this type of people who have a heart to mobilize their church, but maybe sometimes they don't know where to start, or they don't know what they could do it more clearly. So I think Storylines gives you the right setting, the right tool to start mobilizing and to help people understand, why do we need to think about mission? Why do we need to talk about this? So I think Storyline, it's a great tool that can be easily passed on. We can then easily multiply this. And those who are going through Storyline training and the seminar, then they'll be able to equip others and train others to use these in their own churches.